What's going on, everybody? Welcome back out to the Cleveland Pulse. Something a little bit different today. No Justin for this video, just me today. And we're going to be going over in depth, does Kevin Love have the worst contract in sports? I think it's arguable. I think it's something that has to be talked about. Truthfully, I know I'm hypercritical about Kobe Altman and the job he's done since he's been the Cavs general manager the past 3 or 4 off seasons. So today we're going to get into some of the pure numbers, the pure statistics, and just some of the facts that have surrounded Kevin Love over the past couple of seasons, specifically since LeBron has left and he's received that big multi-year, over $100 million contract. But before we get into the bulk of the video today, I just want to remind you to make sure that you drop a subscribe down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Helps us out. It's totally free. Also, make sure you throw in a like. Really helps the YouTube algorithm, and it really pays off doing a lot of work for these videos and making sure that you guys like them. If you don't like it, throw a dislike down below. Put it in the comments. What you liked about this video, what you didn't like. Do you think I'm way off base here? Do you think that I'm just being a bad Cavs fan? Whatever it might be. But make sure that you throw all that down below in the comment section, and I'll try to respond to everybody as I normally do. But that's all for me in the intro. Let's get into this one. After the second departure of LeBron James, the city of Cleveland was shrouded in an aura that we have indeed felt before. The consensus of, and I'm using air quotes here, back to poverty goes the Cleveland Cavaliers without King James, really set in for the second time. The fan base at this point essentially felt the same way as they did at the first time LeBron left. No one who came to play with LeBron would stay, and the team, in fact, would lack major leadership. Shocking news broke that Kobe Altman had actually secured a contract extension with a key member of the Cavs' Big Three, Kevin Love. This news struck me as a surprise, and I was actually thrilled that relatively fresh and new general manager Kobe Altman could keep a key player in town. That was all before I heard the figures of the deal. Unfortunately, the quick praise of Kobe Altman did not last very long. After hearing the full details of the deal, I instantly was sick to my stomach because I knew that it was going to be a huge mistake. I liked, keyword liked, Kevin Love. I really did. When it came to Love, I thought that he probably caught too much flack in the playoff runs he had with LeBron and Kyrie. And there seemed to be this weird notion of unnecessary hate toward him as a player. But when I tell you I absolutely hated this contract, I absolutely hated it. To put this into perspective for you, coming from the Timberwolves, the clear-cut prime of Kevin Love's career, the Cavaliers and general manager David Griffin paid him $113 million back in 2015 on the terms of a 5-year deal, basically running the Cleveland Cavaliers $22 million or so a year toward Kevin Love. This contract then expired in 2019. Subsequently, new general manager Kobe Altman gave a 31-year-old Kevin Love, 4 years and $121 million as an extension, with an average yearly salary equaling just north of $30 million. Here is a quick snapshot of Kevin Love as a Cavalier since Kobe Altman gave him this massive extension. Over the last 3 years, Kevin Love has missed 118 games due to injury, including 47 games this past season with a calf strain. A strain. He is clearly less of a prolific scorer without LeBron James facilitating the basketball, and he is most certainly not anywhere close to playing with the levels of intensity and passion that he once did with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe even more importantly than Love missing games has been the utter disappointment when he is in fact on the court. The Cavs extended Love in the hopes that he could be a leader for this young franchise in an everlasting rebuild mode. That, of course, has not been the case, as Love this past season has been caught numerous times pouting on the court, sitting far away from his teammates during timeouts, and even allegedly talking behind the back of his teammates in the locker room. Now, do I think that Kevin Love has a special place in the history of Cleveland sports? Absolutely. Love famously defending Steph Curry at the end of Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals will always be a great memory for me as a Cleveland sports fan. However, the good fortune of the past does not provide anyone with a free pass to act out of character in the present. While Love has dealt with some serious injuries since his extension, I do think that he has mailed it in quite a bit, and it is even more ironic that he has recently committed to playing for Team USA in this year's Olympics, considering he did not play very much at all for the Cavs this season. I truly do hope that Kevin Love can get back on the right track in order to finish out his career, whether it be with the Cavs or with another organization. However, if there's any way Kobe Altman could move on from Kevin Love in the hopes of saving the franchise millions of dollars, I would absolutely commend this move. Now, here's some of the honorable mentions for the worst contract in sports currently. Number 1, Kristaps Porzingis, 5 years, $158 million with the Dallas Mavericks. While this is a product of recency bias, I had to throw him on the list here. The once New York Knick has been somewhat of a bust for the Dallas Mavericks. Similar to Love, injuries have hurt this big man since he has joined the Mavs. However, the bigger story here is that he is being outshined by one of his teammates, Luka Doncic, a top 5 player in the league at such a young age. The talent gap between Doncic and Porzingis is optically apparent, and Luka will be demanding a supermax contract eventually, which is something he will most definitely receive. Honorable mention number 2 for the worst contract in sports today goes to Ben Simmons, 5 years, $177 million with the Philadelphia 76ers. Another product of recency bias due to how terrible he played in the playoffs this year. It is truly not shocking, though, that a young number 1 overall draft pick compared to the likes of LeBron James received this type of money from the 76ers. Similar to Porzingis, however, he is just not the best player on his respective team. As we all know, Joel Embiid is definitely the face of the 76ers. But unfortunately, Ben Simmons got paid like he is the best player on the roster, which is the problem. Moreover, he has not improved his jump shot since entering the league, and he seems more interested in the Kardashians than stepping to the free throw line. For the third and final honorable mention as far as the worst contract in sports today, this might cut deep to all of you watching out there, but I'm going to have to give this one to Fransisco Lindor to the tune of 10 years and $341 million from the New York Mets. I threw Lindor's contract in here mostly as a troll, but if he maintains a 200 batting average for the first couple years of this contract, it could potentially become the worst contract in sports history. Do I see this as likely? Not exactly, but I think it's fun to talk about, and as someone who just left a Cleveland organization, I think it's interesting how much money he received and how it's not quite paying off. Of course, it's the short run. We got a small sample size of at-bats for Lindor, but I just think it's fun to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video up until this point. Just a couple more things before the end here. Number 1, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Number 2, make sure that you click on the bell notifications so you get alerted every time we upload a video so you could be one of the first people to watch it. Number 3, drop a like below in the comments. This video did take some time, so it's really appreciated for the YouTube algorithm if you like the video. And number 4, drop your comments below. Does Kevin Love have the worst contract in sports? Did I miss somebody in the honorable mentions category of the video? I'm sure I did. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments below. But that's a wrap for this one. And remember, nothing is given and everything is earned. Peace.